On the 21st of December 2020, in the narrowest stretch of water in the Middle East, something broke the surface that was never meant to be seen. Not a warship exactly. A long, black, whale-backed shape running on the surface in broad daylight, flanked by two guided missile cruisers pushing straight into the Strait of Hormuz. Submarines do not do this. A submarine's entire reason to exist is that no one knows where it is. It hides. It stays under. It disappears for months at a time, and the whole point is that you never ever see it coming. And yet, here was one of the most secretive vessels the United States has ever built, riding on the surface, in the open, in front of the entire Iranian coastline. Inside that hull sat enough firepower to level a small country's worth of targets in a single afternoon. Up to 154 cruise missiles, more than most nations carry in their entire military, and the Navy wanted Iran to know it was there. That last part is the strange part, because for 40 years, the single hardest, most expensive thing the United States Navy ever learned to do was to make these submarines invisible. So why, 3 separate times, would it turn around and tell Iran exactly where one of them was? Why reveal the one weapon whose entire value is that it can't be found? Through the Strait of Hormuz passes roughly a fifth of the world's oil. It is the single most important choke point on the planet, and it is the one place Iran has spent decades preparing to hold hostage. To understand why a 40-year-old submarine became America's answer there, you have to understand what this thing actually is. Because it did not start life as a striker at all. It started life as a doomsday machine. In the depths of the Cold War, the United States built 18 Ohio-class submarines for one purpose: to carry nuclear missiles, to hide in the deep ocean, and to guarantee that if America were ever attacked, retaliation would be absolute and inescapable. Each boat was a floating apocalypse held in reserve. The lead ship, USS Ohio, was commissioned on the 11th of November 1981. She was followed by Michigan, then Florida, then Georgia. At more than 18,000 tons submerged and 560 feet long, these were, and still are, among the largest submarines ever operated by the United States. Then the Cold War ended, and the machine built for the end of the world suddenly had less of a world to end. In 1994, a review of America's nuclear posture concluded the country needed only 14 of its 18 boomers for strategic deterrence. 4 submarines, the 4 oldest, Ohio, Michigan, Florida, and Georgia, were now surplus. The easy answer was to scrap them. The Navy did something far more interesting instead. It took 4 of the most survivable, longest-ranged, stealthiest platforms ever built, and it gutted the nuclear mission out of them and replaced it with something else entirely. Between 2002 and 2008, all 4 were converted from ballistic missile boats into guided missile submarines. The designation changed from SSBN to SSGN. Ohio and Michigan were rebuilt at Puget Sound Naval Shipyard in Washington. Florida and Georgia at Norfolk in Virginia. General Dynamics Electric Boat, the same yard that designed and built every Ohio hull, ran the conversion. And the transformation at the heart of it was brutally simple in concept and staggering in effect. Each of these submarines had 24 enormous tubes, each one built to hold a single Trident nuclear missile. The engineers left the tubes. They just changed what went inside. 22 of those tubes were fitted with a device called a multiple all-up round canister, a 7-shot revolver of conventional Tomahawk cruise missiles. 22 tubes, 7 missiles each. The arithmetic is the headline. Up to 154 Tomahawk land attack cruise missiles in a single hull, each missile flying more than 1,000 nautical miles, hugging the terrain, arriving without warning. One boat carrying more cruise missiles than most of the world's navies own in total, and it can wait as long as it needs to. These are nuclear-powered boats run by 2 rotating crews of around 155 sailors, swapped out so the submarine itself barely rests. The reactor never needs refueling on patrol. The only real limit on how long it can stay hidden is how much food fits aboard. In 2024, USS Florida returned from a single deployment that had lasted 727 days, nearly 2 years at sea, across 3 separate fleets, most of it precisely where no one could see her. A number that large invites an obvious comparison, and it is worth being honest about it. 154 missiles is a single devastating no-warning salvo. It is not more total firepower than an aircraft carrier. A carrier launches aircraft day after day, recalls them, rearms them, and sustains strikes for weeks. The submarine is the opening blow, the one nobody sees being loaded and nobody sees coming. But the missiles are only half of what these boats were rebuilt to do. Because the conversion did something else, quieter, and in many ways more dangerous. It turned each submarine into a doorway. The two forwardmost tubes were not filled with missiles at all. They were converted into lockout chambers, pressurized compartments that let divers leave and re-enter the submarine while it stays completely submerged. And behind the sail, the hull was widened and strengthened to carry shelters on its back. These submarines can carry up to 66 special operations personnel at a time, with the ability to surge past 100 for short periods. Navy SEALs, their equipment, and the small craft to deliver them, all riding inside a boat that can sit off a hostile coast for weeks without ever revealing that it is there. Strike missiles in the tubes, commandos in the hull, one platform, two silent missions. Now hold both of those facts in your head, the missiles and the commandos, and go back to the strange thing, the reveal. Because a weapon like this is built, from the keel up, to be invisible. So the moment the United States Navy chooses to make it visible, that choice is not an accident. It is a message. And the message was aimed squarely at Tehran. Go back to that December day in 2020. US Naval Forces Central Command did something it almost never does. It published the transit. It named the boat, the guided missile submarine USS Georgia, moving through the Strait of Hormuz alongside the cruisers Port Royal and Philippine Sea. It was the first time in 8 years the Navy had publicly announced one of these submarines entering the Persian Gulf. And she did not sneak. She transited on the surface in daylight with a dry deck shelter visible behind her sail, the mark of her special operations role shown openly to anyone watching from the Iranian shore. It came weeks after the killing of Iran's top nuclear scientist, and near the anniversary of the strike that killed General Qasem Soleimani. Tensions were at a knife's edge. The submarine was the sentence America chose to end the argument. Analysts understood it instantly. You do not highlight the movement of a strategic asset like an Ohio-class submarine unless you want it highlighted. Announcing it was the whole point. The Navy was converting its most secret weapon into its loudest possible warning without firing a single shot. Understand the logic because it is the entire reason the tactic works. A threat you can locate is a threat you can plan around. You can move your ships, harden your bunkers, wait for the moment it happens to be somewhere else. A threat you cannot find rewrites every calculation at once. It forces an enemy to assume the worst, everywhere, all of the time. That is what the United States handed Iran by naming the boat and hiding the boat in the very same breath. Then it happened again. On the 5th of November 2023, US Central Command posted a single photograph and a single line. An Ohio-class submarine had arrived in its area of responsibility. The image appeared to show the boat transiting the Suez Canal. Officials later confirmed it was USS Florida. The timing again said everything. It followed the 7th of October attack on Israel, and America was already surging 2 aircraft carrier strike groups into the region, the Gerald R. Ford and the Dwight D. Eisenhower, to keep Iran and its proxies out of a wider war. The submarine announcement was the exclamation point on that surge, a rare, deliberate, public reminder of what was now sitting off Iran's coast. And then, in August of 2024, a third time. In an official Pentagon readout, the Secretary of Defense stated plainly that he had ordered the guided missile submarine USS Georgia to the Central Command region, alongside orders to accelerate a carrier strike group. Iran and Hezbollah were threatening retaliation after a wave of targeted killings. 3 times in 4 years, America had taken its most invisible weapon and deliberately made it seen. But a warning only works if the enemy believes you will use it. Here is the part that made Iran believe. Because one of these submarines had already done it, in combat, for real, years before. In March 2011, over Libya, USS Florida became the first Ohio-class guided missile submarine ever to fire her weapons in anger. In the opening hours of the operation, from beneath the surface of the Mediterranean, she launched more than 90 Tomahawk missiles, by one senior admiral's account, 93, tearing apart Libyan air defenses before a single Allied pilot was put at risk. That was the proof. It showed the world exactly what one of these hulls could do in a single night: kick down the door of an entire integrated air defense system quietly from international waters and leave no target of value standing. So when America announced a submarine off Iran, Tehran did not have to imagine what it meant. It had already watched it happen. For years, that was the whole game. The threat that was never used, only shown. And it might have stayed that way until the summer of 2025, when the shadow finally struck. On the night of the 21st into the 22nd of June 2025, the United States launched Operation Midnight Hammer against Iran's nuclear program. Most of the world's attention went to the 7 B-2 stealth bombers and the 14 30,000-pound bunker busters they dropped on the deepest, most fortified sites. But that was not the whole strike, because from somewhere in the Central Command waters, unseen, a US guided missile submarine opened its tubes. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs confirmed it directly. A submarine launched more than 24 Tomahawk cruise missiles against surface targets at Iran's Isfahan nuclear site. More than 30 by some accounts. The invisible boat had finally spoken. Think about the sequence Iran had just lived through. First, the submarines were shown to them on the surface deliberately. For years, they were told, "It is out there and you will never find it." And then, on one night in June, the thing they had been warned about for half a decade reached out from empty water and struck the heart of their nuclear program. The threat and the proof had become the same weapon, which raises the real question: why can Iran not simply stop it? Iran has anti-ship missiles, fast attack boats, mines, submarines of its own, one of the densest coastal defense networks in the world, and against a surfaced ship, all of that is a genuine threat. But against this? Against a submerged Ohio-class boat? Almost none of it applies. You cannot sink what you cannot find. A nuclear-powered submarine does not need to surface for air or fuel. It can sit in the Arabian Sea or the Gulf of Oman for weeks, silent, absorbing the ocean's noise, revealing nothing. Iran's defenses are built to see ships and aircraft coming across a line on a map. The submarine does not cross that line. It is simply already there. 1,000 miles of missile range reaching over the horizon from water no one can point to. And it works because it is not one weapon, but a system. The Navy's own words: the 4 of these submarines together hold more than half of the entire submarine force's vertical launch missile capacity. Add the carriers, the destroyers with their own Tomahawks, the aircraft, the satellites overhead, and the submarine becomes one silent piece of a machine so layered that Iran cannot solve all of it at once. America does not rely on a single wonder weapon. It builds systems. This is what one of them looks like. And that is what makes what is happening right now so hard to accept. Because these 4 submarines, at the very moment they proved how valuable they are being taken away. The hulls are old. USS Ohio is now more than 44 years old. All 4 are between 42 and 45. They were engineered for a service life that is running out, and there is no simple way to extend a nuclear submarine forever. On the 31st of July, 2026, USS Georgia, the same boat sent as a warning to Iran in 2020, and again in 2024, returned from her final deployment and began inactivation after 42 years of service. She is the first of the 4 to go. Ohio, Florida, and Michigan are scheduled to follow over the next few years. And here is the uncomfortable truth the Navy is now facing. There is no direct replacement. Nothing else in the fleet carries 154 missiles in a single hull. Nothing else combines that magazine with a full special operations capability in one invisible package. And it is not only the numbers that disappear, it is the combination. A single boat that can flatten an integrated air defense network at midnight and slip a team of commandos onto a hostile beach before dawn, from the same hull on the same patrol without ever breaking the surface. That specific concentrated threat has existed in all of history in exactly 4 vessels. Within a few years, it will exist in none of them. The answer the Navy has chosen is to spread that firepower across its newer attack submarines. The latest Virginia-class boats are being built with a section called the Virginia Payload Module, which raises a single Virginia's cruise missile capacity from 12 to 40. It is real and it is capable. But the math is unforgiving. It takes roughly 4 of those new submarines to match the 154 missiles of a single retiring SSGN. 4 hulls to replace 1. 4 crews, 4 reactors, 4 boats that each have their own jobs to do to reconstitute the concentrated punch that 4 aging submarines are carrying out of the fleet. The capability is not being thrown away, it is being scattered, and for a few years in between, the concentrated version simply goes quiet. So look back one more time at that black hole on the surface of the Strait of Hormuz in 2020. It was never supposed to be seen. It was a submarine built to end the world, rebuilt to hold the most important waterway on Earth, carrying 154 missiles and a company of commandos. And its greatest weapon was never the missiles at all. It was the knowledge in the mind of every Iranian commander that it was out there, somewhere, watching. For 20 years, these 4 submarines were America's quietest guarantee, a promise that some threats do not need to be spoken, only known. Now they are sailing home for the last time, one by one, and the ocean they leave behind is a little emptier and a little quieter than the one they patrolled. The United States Navy is not losing a submarine, it is losing a sentence it never had to finish.